ask permission, say, George, I know you got some pretty well-defined ideas about what's it supposed to look like, but, you know, can I give you a couple of thoughts on this? Blah, 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 blah. And then once you've done that, then you can, if they say yes, now you can tell them what you think. You can say, this is why I would recommend an acceptance of this agreement. And it was A, B, C, D. I don't think we're going to get a better one. You know, it was a vacant house. The lost return on invested dollars there, the house was paid for, maintenance, taxes, utilities, et cetera, et cetera. We're in a static market at best, et cetera. So there was a whole series of points that needed to be made, and we made them.
This might be getting too involved, and if it is, just stop me. And sometimes, for me, it has worked to say we're not going to make a decision today. Let's call the loan officer, see if the interest rates came down today. $5,000 might not be $30 a month. Or if you're asking for 3 or 6% back to help cover their closing costs, let's see if the loan officer can take that leftover money that's there and buy the interest rate down. Because sometimes you just give them 24 hours to think about it. Because if you're giving them all this information all at one time, it's like feeding them with a fire hose. I mean, they just can't absorb it all at one time. And if you just kind of back off for about 24 hours, call back the next day and say, all right, the loan officer said this and this and this, all of a sudden $5,000 doesn't seem that much.
Good. Excellent.
You might want to let them know that you're there to buy a house, not that appliances are not important, but appliances will only last temporary. So if this is truly the house you like, let's pretend we take all of the appliances out of all of the houses. And then would you still like this house? Because I think when they start talking about appliances, I think we're setting ourselves up for the fact that they want the stove, the refrigerator, the washer, the dryer, the kid, the dog, the pictures on the wall. You know, you have to make sure you keep them focused on the value of the house. It's just.
Don't you find with first-time home buyers particularly, they have to have appliances?
Absolutely.
Well, you know, you bring up an important point, Roger, because a lot of times you're going to be looking at, if I was working with first-time home buyers and it became very obvious to me that the only thing that they had is their down payment, they didn't even have closing costs, and they didn't have anything, I would only be showing those buyers pristine houses unless he had some really good skill sets for fixing it up and stuff. Because I see now buyers out there will pay $10,000, $12,000 more for a house that has new carpeting than one that doesn't, because they don't have the $3,000 to replace the carpet. It's like, you know, maybe that's too much money and maybe that's not fair or right, or they don't care. You know, if they don't have the money, they don't have the money. So
before I let something fall apart because the stove or refrigerator doesn't stay, I think we're all aware of the fact that there are some great discount stores, used furniture stores, and I would just, as a housewarming gift, get them a $50 stove. I mean, now $50 sounds like a whole lot of money, but if you got a $1,500 commission on the table, I would just say, if it had a stove, would you buy it?
You know, if you switch to Key, you could get 33.
There you go. There you go.
Such a deal, huh?
well, we want to think it over, Dennis. I'm going to listen to the plan. I might say, well, you know, that's terrific, Josh. Just so I'm clear in my thinking, may I ask what it is you'd like to think over? Is it the price? Is it the terms? Is it our marketing programs? Don't be afraid to do this. Write this language down. Just so I'm clear in my thinking, may I ask what it is you'd like to think over?
Would you actually start off with the price?
No, I wouldn't. Thank you. I would not. No, I would say, is it the terms and conditions? Are you thinking about, is this a good match for you? Is this, you know, help me understand where we're at with this, okay? Communication. You know, somewhere I should have put in the header or the footer of this thing, ask questions. Ask questions. With buyers, it's very, very important. Okay. Similar situation. Tom bought a house a while back, and you know, he was really nervous too. You know, where you're at right now with this process kind of reminds me of Tom. And you know, we closed on his house a couple of months ago. He's happy. He's over there. I saw him the other day, and he thinks it's the best thing that ever happened to him. I always have a positive conclusion. never try to use a similar situation story to intimidate somebody. Oh, well, you know, Tom blinked and he didn't buy this house on Tuesday and it was gone on Wednesday and now he's been regretting it ever since. Don't do that to people. They don't like it at all. Okay? The unmotivated buyer. In my opinion, this is a source of business that is left on the table. This is one of those places where agents just take the money and burn it in an ashtray. I don't need the money anyway. See this as a prospecting program, okay? The first thing I would share with you about the unmotivated buyer is have a regularly scheduled follow-up system, whatever it might be. In other words, Tina, if you get Tony and Tony's like namby-pambying around, and sometime between now and February, he maybe wants to buy a house, but right now they're just in the initial looking stages, blah, 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 blah. What are you going to do about that? Do you have a system you can plug him into?
Yes, I would follow up. I've learned, I've lost a buyer. I would make sure that he is not wanting to, has like a definite time frame of like if he's in a contract or something till February, or if he's just, you know, if there's a reason for it. And then I would make sure I follow up with him regularly, and I mean regularly, because.
Okay, if I was coaching you, I would say, Tina, do you have a regularly scheduled time once a week where you follow up with unmotivated buyers?
Yes,
When is it?
Monday mornings.
Do you have a regular, is there a time? Well,
My time left?
yeah, do you know what time it is on Monday morning?
No.
Mistake. Would you schedule over it if I was a $200,000 cash buyer and I wanted to see houses on Monday morning?
Yes.
Mistake number 2.
I
Okay.
understand.
You know, these rules, guys, are here to help you, not hurt you, okay?
Is calling.
Don't make the mistakes, all right? Sorry?
Calling Monday morning, probably gonna get their answer.
I'd make it Monday night. I wouldn't call it during the day because I'm going to get that answering machine. What I'm after is what I'm after, Roger, is when you raise your hand, I want to be standing there going, Roger. Okay, I want to be your family realtor. I want to be your go-to guy. I want to be the guy that, thank you, you go from a Z buyer to an A buyer because you drove past the house on Elysian, and I don't want you panicking and calling to sell or whatever. I want you going, oh man, we got to get home. We got to call Dennis. That's what I want, okay? And I can't do that without a little time and energy. And I can't do that with emails. Thank you. Boy, you went crazy, didn't you?
Hey.
Oh, yeah, you just gotta love it. The only way I can do that is build a relationship with you. That's it, okay? And you can build and maintain relationships with 20 to 30 unmotivated buyers in a stable in the course of an hour and a half a week. All right? It's just not that hard. And when they go to raise their hand, you know, they want, when they're ready, you want them to want to call you, okay?